My name is Emily. I'm 34 and I've been in a committed relationship for nearly 6 years. To most people, we were the picture-perfect couple. It felt like we had a strong foundation, enough love and shared dreams to make it last. We lived together, and I've always pictured us getting married one day. It seemed inevitable, just a matter of timing. It was just me and my boyfriend, John. We didn't have children, but we had each other and an adorable dog named Max. John and I had built our lives around each other, our daily routines so closely intertwined. I work as a freelance graphic designer, which means I'm home most of the time. My days were peaceful and predictable. I'd wake up, make breakfast for us, and John would leave for his job at the local accounting firm. In the evenings, we'd often cook dinner together, or binge-watch our favourite TV shows, while cuddling on the couch with Max nestled between us. We had our rhythm, our little moments of laughter and quiet intimacy. I never questioned whether John loved me. He told me often, and I saw it in the way he would hold me after a long day, or when he'd surprise me with my favourite chocolate just because he wanted to see me smile. Life felt comfortable. I never saw what was coming. When evening John was late coming home, I remember standing by the stove, staring at the clock. Hours passed without a word. He eventually texted me, saying he was stuck at work, which was strange because he always called if he knew he'd be late. When he finally walked through the door, something was off. He was distant, avoiding my eyes, mumbling about deadlines when I asked what happened. I didn't press him. Maybe I should have. Over the next few weeks, more things started to feel wrong. He began coming home later and later. He'd spend time in the other room, whispering into his phone. And whenever I approached, he'd quickly end the call or walk away. I found myself growing anxious, wondering if I had done something to push him away. Was I too needy? Too predictable? A sense of dread started to settle in my stomach. One night, curiosity got the better of me. John had left his phone on the kitchen counter, and while he was in the shower, a message popped up. It wasn't from someone I knew. The name on the screen read, Amelia. My heart pounded as I swiped to open the message. I felt awful doing it, but I couldn't stop myself. It was a message confirming dinner plans, and Amelia's excitement was clear from the playful emojis she used. Over the next few weeks, more things started to feel wrong. He began coming home later and later. He'd spend time in the other room, whispering into his phone. And whenever I approached, he'd quickly end the call or walk away. I found myself growing anxious, wondering if I had done something to push him away. Was I too needy? Too predictable? A sense of dread started to settle in my stomach. One night, curiosity got the better of me. John had left his phone on the kitchen counter, and while he was in the shower, a message popped up. It wasn't from someone I knew. The name on the screen read, Amelia. My heart pounded as I swiped to open the message. I felt awful doing it, but I couldn't stop myself. It was a message confirming dinner plans, and Amelia's excitement was clear from the playful emojis she used. But everything crumbled one Saturday morning. I was cleaning up the living room when I heard John's phone buzz on the coffee table. My eyes glanced at it, and my heart nearly stopped. It was a picture message. A photo of a ring box captioned with, "I can't wait to be yours." The sender's name was Amelia. It was like the ground fell out from under me. My hands shook as I held the phone, my stomach twisting in knots. The man I had spent 6 years loving, building a life with, was planning a future with someone else. It wasn't just a fling. He was going to propose to her. It felt like a knife straight through my chest. I wanted to scream, to throw the phone at him, to demand answers. But when I looked at John, asleep on the couch, with Max curled beside him, I felt paralyzed. I couldn't bring myself to shatter that fleeting, peaceful image. Later that day, I confronted him, shaking and on the verge of tears. I showed him the message, and for a moment he looked shocked, but then his face hardened. "You shouldn't have looked through my phone," he said, his voice devoid of emotion. He didn't deny it, he didn't even try to explain. All he said was, "It's complicated, Emily. I think we both knew this wasn't forever." His words echoed in my ears, reverberating with a cruelty I never thought I'd hear from him. Wasn't forever? The life we had built together, the plans we'd made, had it all been a lie? I felt small, insignificant, like the years we had spent together were nothing more than an afterthought to him. I cried, begged him to talk to me, to help me understand. But he just stood there, emotionless, his eyes somewhere far away. In the days that followed, he moved out. He didn't offer an apology or even a real goodbye. He packed his things, took his clothes, his books, and left our home. Our shared life, like it was just an empty shell. I stayed in that apartment, surrounded by the ghosts of what we once were. The silence was deafening. Even Max seemed to sense the emptiness, whining at the door as if waiting for John to walk back in. I felt lost, utterly and completely lost. I kept replaying everything in my head, trying to find the moment it all went wrong. Was it my fault? Should I have seen the signs sooner? Should I have done something differently? I wanted answers, but there were none. Only the hollow ache of betrayal, and the realization that the man I loved had chosen someone else, leaving me to pick up the pieces. I still don't know what happens next. There's no neat ending to this story, no comforting resolution, just me, trying to rebuild, to find some semblance of hope in the ruins of what once was, and maybe, someday, I'll find the strength to let go of the hurt, to believe in love again. But right now, all I have is the uncertainty of what's to come. If you enjoyed my story, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support means the world to me.